Hello ladies and gentlemen, for the people that are watching on YouTube, we're going to do a short review of the G2 and Origin game. It was a very interesting game, and I suggest you to watch the long version of it because we go into detail. There are some exercises there for you to learn as well. We started with the draft, the famous Soraka lock-in. So here, on broadcast, I said no when Rumble got locked in, which is for a good reason. So the reason how you deal with Soraka is basically you want to pick a physical damage carry in the top lane that can all in and win 1v1, like Kled or Irelia, or yeah, let's leave it at that. There's a long list. You can even play Jace if you want. Why? Executioner's Calling is much cheaper than, of course, Morello, so you reach that earlier. Also, Soraka really wants to buy Athenes. She really wants to buy Athenes. And Athenes obviously has magic resistance. Even if Soraka is laning against an AD champ, she's going to want to buy Athenes. So already if you're delaying her Athenes, you're making her way weaker. For example, buying Zika's arm guard is not in her interests. Soraka wants these cheap support items like Redemption and Ardent and so forth. So this is the whole thought process. At the same time, if you pick something that can permanently all in the Soraka, this is Soraka. If you pick a champion that can permanently all in the Soraka, you can also force her ult. Her ultimate is the biggest reason as to why people are choosing to draft Soraka, because it's so goddamn powerful. It is going to amplify this very strong 2v2, where Origin also have options in the 2v2, but just because they have Soraka Wish here, she amplifies this big time. Soraka's ult heals more if you're lower, 50%, if you're below 50% it heals more, and this healing of 350 plus is enough to shift a 2v2. Also the bot lane 2v2. So in this case you have Senna and Thresh into Xayah Rakan. Senna and Thresh, they win early on, meaning 1 to 5, and then at 6 Xayah Rakan have options. They have options to all in and they have options to go. But once again Soraka's level 6 is going to be able to shift these matchups. So a very good and easy attacking point is to commit to the Soraka. But the Rumble as a champion, the reason OG went for it is because they have Xayah Rakan, they have an AD jungler, and they are afraid of damage mix, right? But there is no reason to fear damage mix because no one here on G2's roster is going to stack heavy armor, heavy MR. So it's better to just pick a champion that is good into Soraka instead of handicapping yourself. Barring, Alphari did way more in this game than I could imagine that a Rumble could do. Based off of some mistakes of G2, based off of his own intuition as well. He was a fantastic performer. Rumble played, Alphari played amazingly well, and Upset played really well as well. But the composition still has some issues here, right? Just because of this pick. So here I think it is by far G2 won the draft. They have Senna as well, the best AD carry in the game by far. Mickey showed that he doesn't want to play Tam Kench, but he could pick it here too. Thresh is a stronger laner from 1 to 5. Tam is better later, but if you are a really good Thresh, as Mickey is, then you can compensate for it. Xayah Rakan was a good rotation. Here I disagree with Elite's ban, because usually you want to pick the best jungle here when the enemy first picks the best AD, which is Senna, but there was no jungle to pick. Lee Sin gets locked in together with LeBlanc, a very strong 2v2. Rek'Sai falls off really hard and needs to gain value early on, and I think it's an okay jungler, but not too good. I think Elise is just better, and that's why I am against this ban. Akali Syndra ban is good, the standard. I'm waiting for the time when someone leaves Akali open and then the enemy is just caught with their pants down because oh shit, we didn't play Akali for the last 5 months because it's been permabanned in pro play, right? It's been permabanned in pro play since forever. So could be a strategy. On G2 side, they banned most junglers, especially the Gragas, that is Xerxes staple, and you could see the Xerxes on Rek'Sai was not that useful. He just wasn't useful at all. So Rumble here, just don't pick Rumble. It's a mistake. Go Kled. I want Kled here. Kled. Just go Kled and camp Soraka. If you force Soraka's ult in top with like a champion like Kled because she needs to survive, then it's perfect. You impacted the map and you saved the map, right? It's just ideal for you. Okay, so let's go through some of the moments in the game where this game was quite long. Early on, G2 was covering topside. Destiny burned Flash. Cleanse was burnt. G2 did a very good hover into bottom to punish, and OG was very afraid. CS numbers looked fine. If you want to look at the details of everything that's happening here, you can easily go and check my long review. I go through every single point of the game, I believe. Here, this dive is a bit too reckless. I don't know what you want to accomplish here. Maybe they don't account for the sorcery mastery that gives a shield, but I think regardless, this was very optimistic. Shield or no shield, I think it's a bit too much. Lee trying to gain advantage in a Rumble Soraka lane is the wrong approach. I think the approach here is to save the Soraka, if anything. But I think if Xerxes was consistently pathing into top and actually, actually put in a lot of effort into pressuring the Soraka, it would have been better. But it came way too late in the game. So this was a knock-up. This was a 2v2 that I also covered. You could see here that Rek'Sai punches a creep behind him, and LeBlanc is not airborne for the full duration. And maybe here in a situation where he is airborne and the chain lands from Nuktak, maybe they can one-shot Perks, but it's difficult through LeBlanc passive to judge it. So I find this acceptable considering the burn Soraka TP. Soraka in this position after the Rumble dive attempt could save TP and run into topside. So here a big wave is stacking. Wunder is chilling. LeBlanc is freezing, so Nuktak of course needs to break the freeze, so he TPs back into the mid lane. Here Alphari does some good trades. It's not that Soraka wins against Rumble, it is that she has an easier time against Rumble. She buys Chalice, gives magic resistance, all is good and well. We continue. Here Xerxes gets spotted. Here was a very good discussion of should Lee Sin do Drake here. But just because of the heavy trading that is happening in mid and the fact that Thresh wants to base and go top, it is the correct decision to look to pressure the Sylas in mid. Xerxes showed, Wunder backed up in time. Here, this is something that could have happened all game long, right? Them pressuring Soraka and gaining an advantage. Wunder gets away, Q healing, you see that when you hit it, it's quite juicy. Maybe Xerxes needed to red smite to punch even harder. Alphari gets some plating, but Soraka being behind is irrelevant. It's more about just handicapping her and making sure that she doesn't get the best item efficiency and at the same time doesn't get, to use her ult freely in the 2v2s that are going to happen in mid and bottom. Okay, we continue. Next big thing that happens is a lineup for the Rift Herald fight. YamatoCannon, they did an all-in on bottom. You can see that they use Ignite and so forth. And now the lineup is here for the Rift Herald. YamatoCannon is ahead on tempo. They should be starting Rift Herald right now. So here is a mistake from OG not starting Rift Herald. They should be starting it right now. Use the tempo that they had ahead because they saw Senna catching the bot wave. Instead, they are moping around. Here, Perks was playing dangerous as too because he doesn't know the position of Destiny. OG are looking for a 2v2 on mid lane, but they should have started Rift here. Rift starting was the right way. Rumble is very, very strong in this position. Good pink ward placement here that is going to be very important for the Rift Herald that is coming up here. All this preparation, all this build-up towards this climax gets killed and ended by Destiny's wrong step here. He gets reeled in and hooked like a fish. Here, if we evaluate the situation, double spell pen, similar items on support. Sylas, no ultimate, that's a problem. Perks with no heavy base yet. Mana immune into BF, Berserker is very similar. Support difference is Mickey's level 5 and OG's Destiny is level 6. But of course Destiny doesn't have ult because he all-in earlier to gain the temp to be here first. And now the issue is that Destiny gets hooked, right? So imagine a situation where Rumble TP's here and Destiny can actually provide space for Xayah to walk, then this fight would have looked very different. But instead, Destiny gets silenced, gets rooted, and gets killed. Naturally, because you get hooked, nothing to do. So here, after Destiny is dead, OG is very interested in fighting this still, but the problem is now, without the Rakan, Caps can easily zone the Rek'Sai and the Xayah with the help of Thresh Lantern and Lee Sin's backup. It is very difficult, And then here you can see Perk's movement, which is very beautiful. Perks is looking to zone Upset and Xerxes further. He's keeping his spells, and he knows that his team is going to win this 4v2 that is happening. So after Destiny dies, this fight is lost, and you know, after this already there's a massive gold swing in favor of G2. So there we have a replay. G2 using Luden's Echo Power Spike to catch the top wave for free. You see LeBlanc is hovering into top, and they're also taking Drake at the same time. Luden's Echo Power Spike, Silas no base. We continue. Here we have a next fight. So Herald was still alive after all of this jazz that we just saw. I don't know what's happening to the replay. Is the replay dead? Okay, the replay is not dead. No TP on Alphari. Wunder has TP, so of course this is a small situation that is in favor. Mickey looking to hook. Here we have a situation as well that is kind of showcasing if you're managing to all in the Soraka over and over, the better it is. So here, Alphari all-ins. Imagine you have a champion that can consistently all-in, maybe even pressure dive, maybe something that is physical. Then all of a sudden, Soraka is going to be forced to use Wish on herself. And all of a sudden, the global power of Soraka is gone. Also, the team fighting power is gone. Athene proc on the global scale is also gone. Here, the fight is mostly won because Perks is Luden's Echo and gets to poke a lot. G2, they get to top themselves off together with Senna. She has endless mana pool because of Mana Mule. Here, Destiny once again looks for an engage, but it whiffs. You see, Perks is just poking away. Destiny, like, look how cocky he is, man. Destiny, if he just flash R's here, he's dead. He's dead. It is mental what is going on here. It is crazy how hard Perks is disrespecting Destiny. And then Destiny tries to find an engage, but this is the most desperate engage since I don't know. This is a terrible flash. They're going for the Thresh with Aftershock. It's not going to work. And here G2 continue their snowball rain. Now LeBlanc is super fed. Senna is super fed. They are going to be 3k gold ahead. Massive. Massive, massive, massive. And then you have to argue, you know, Alphari did his part. The fact that Destiny doesn't know the interaction with Rakan and LeBlanc is a very big problem. The way you want to play Rakan in this case is that you want to always stand in a position where if LeBlanc W's in, you are also there, and then the moment she W's in, you press R and then you W on top of her. Because your R is instant. It's instant, and you can CC her right away. And then you can actually one-shot her with Xayah. But in this case, it never happened. This interaction never happened. There were many opportunities in this game that could have happened. Next thing that happens is Tremor Senses spots everyone here. LeBlanc is showing and Soraka is out of position. So OG is looking for an opportunity to fight. Alphari is recalling, so his TP is going to be late because he wants to have items before the fight breaks out. Here Nukta goes in, the hook lands, and here he needs to flash out. The W heals him, 455. That's the new power of Silas, for those who don't know. R into W is not instant. Yeah, I know it's not instant, but R is instant. The CC from R, the charm is instant, spontaneous melody. So yeah, the fight continues, and here, once again, Destiny, an issue is that he R's from far. He tries to get the move speed from R. There's no Nimbus Cloak, runs into the box, and then he chases in and gets hooked and dies. Perks with a beautiful move here to R and chunk everybody is massive. And Origin, the fact that they're looking for this fight is one of the better fights they can take because they're going to slowly lose anyway. This is them being 3k gold behind and Perks being monster fed. Here, if Wunder doesn't int it, this fight would end even better for G2. Another thing to point out for those who are curious in regards to Silas LeBlanc matchup and Silas mid lane, Silas needs to consistently ult. He needs to consistently ult and, not ult, sorry, he needs to consistently W. And in order to W your enemy, because that's the only way you get healed, you need to play super aggro. Super aggro. If you're not allowed to play aggro, then you're going to fall off and you're going to fall behind, very similar to Irelia. Silas is AP Irelia with more utility. So think of it like that. He Upset plays it super well. You saw him kill LeBlanc on the screen. He also killed Soraka, was very nice. Deathless into not deathless, super cool. Next thing, we continue. G2's big blunder. G2's big blunder happens around the Nash area. Morellos are being finished. For those curious about Morello, Morello makes sense this game. Silas W healing is a lot. Conqueror. There is also Silas stealing Soraka ult. Soraka healing. Senna healing. There's a Morello on Rumble. Morello on LeBlanc is completely justified. I know there's a lot of Morello memes going out there, but this was good. Okay, so the next thing, just because LeBlanc doesn't have TP, G2 don't have the option to play on split. So their plan is to hit Nasher and let LeBlanc poke from behind. So if LeBlanc has the space to poke and she has the vision, eventually they can chip the enemy down. G2 aren't losing HP doing Nash because they have so much healing. Here is one chunk, here is one chunk, here W of Perks into the wall, not so nice. Destiny looking for him, but Destiny looking to predict always with W instead of Ring is the problem here. Okay, we continue. The fight commences. OG are trying to find entry, but look at this point, you know, the gold is deceptive because Soraka is very far behind on gold, you know, very far behind on gold. Super far behind in gold, so this gold advantage is very deceptive. Like, Perks is unbelievably far ahead and Caps is unbelievably far ahead. Like, Wunder is already like 100 CS behind here. He's not been farming too much because he's playing Soraka. He doesn't give a shit, right? So, Perks is monster fed. He's level 16. Level 16, yeah? Super, super strong. So this is already a super winning position for G2. Let's just roll the clip. Here he goes for the chunk. Xerxes is looking to mark. Here's the hook onto Xerxes. There is the healing, the shield. Destiny drops very, very low. And of course, G2 surviving the initial engage here. Senna's healing away. Destiny with the Knight W predict here, but it's not good enough. And even here, Destiny is trying to catch, but he's going for the tankiest member. Flash W into a silence. This was, you know, it was very clear, you know, team fighting against G2 is super, super difficult. But it was very evident here that, you know, G2 are swinging a way bigger dick than Destiny has ever seen, you know? They are swinging. Because here, Destiny just flashes into Soraka silence. Look at this. Soraka silence. Okay, let's continue. And then Perks comes in. Good W from Destiny. And then, you know, that's it. We're talking a lot about Destiny in this game and his mistakes, but honestly, Xerxes was not really existent either. Partially because of his pick, partially because of other things too. Here, after these kills, G2 have a clear path to victory, is just to start Nash and to do it. But Perks gets caught, and this is where things get a bit sweaty for G2. Here he gets flashed on by Rek'Sai. Good one, he gets popped. We continue, and then here we have Alphari's monster ultimate. Silas is TPing from behind, of course, with the home guard, and this is where OG actually get the Nash. But once again, I repeat, the gold is very deceptive. LeBlanc had a death cap in base. This gave hope for OG for a little bit, but the level disadvantage and the gold disadvantage on core members and key members here is just too heavy. Look, Silas has no gold. Rek'Sai has no gold. Very, very weak. Soraka has no gold, but she is happy having no gold. You know, she's one of those people, she's not materialistic, she's happy with no gold because her items are pretty juicy. Sejuani would have been pretty good instead of Rek'Sai. False. Very, very bad. In this game, it would have been terrible. Rumble Sejuani. Rumble Sejuani. LeBlanc is very, very bad. And here, boom. Another showcase of how strong LeBlanc is. He gets popped, and you know, if this was not, this was just a slow, like a small moment of whatever, you know, small moment of, oh, this is rough. If anything, maybe Xerxes should have picked Skarner or something, but Skarner could have been an interesting pick. And then the game is over. I hope I covered most of the things. If you want to look at the long review, it's also going to be posted on my YouTube channel. This was a short of it. The main difference maker here was, of course, LeBlanc getting ahead, the way the early game played out, and how the big fights also played out. Destiny making a lot of blunders being exposed here, and the decision from Origin not to try to snowball the Soraka and the decision to pick Rumble. Very good draft from G2, and I like what I'm seeing so far. It is exciting. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.